A group of evangelicals applied to Brighton Council today to turn a retail warehouse into a house of God. They want to convert a cash and carry near the town station into a church big enough to hold 1,200 worshippers. James Trollope reports.
They come in their hundreds every week, some by foot, others by bus, and a few by motorbike. While some churches are almost empty, Clarendon Church is full to overflowing. Since it was set up in Hove 10 years ago, its membership has swelled to over 1,000. More evidence that the movement of evangelical charismatics, or happy clappies as they're sometimes called, is growing all the time.
It's difficult to explain, but once you've been really touched by the Holy Spirit, life is never the same.
You go to a lot of churches and very morbid, very solemn, but here they're actually celebrating Jesus instead of being all morbid about it.
I feel really happy there and loved and accepted. That's
Services here are less predictable than at most traditional churches. Some are moved to speak in strange tongues. A man explains how his sickness was healed.
I just felt God say to me, you don't need a stick. You don't need a crutch to lean on amongst your friends. Do not lean on your own strength. Lean on me and I will give you healing.
A young couple are congratulated on their engagement. Later, an appeal is made for the church's most important project. More than £500,000 is needed to buy a bigger church. They want to convert a retail warehouse in the centre of Brighton into a house of God. But first, they need the permission of the town's planning committee.
And so we just pray, Lord, for that committee now, that as they consider our application on Tuesday, so you'll grant us favour in their eyes. That, Lord, there'll be nothing that would hinder it at this stage. But, Lord, that we just see that door finally swing wide open.
Before making a decision, councillors from the planning committee looked around the warehouse, which was previously a furniture factory. The church wants to add another storey to provide space for up to 1,200 worshippers. Some councillors, though, seem to believe that the space would be more suitable for industrial purposes.
It's good, usable industrial space, isn't it? You know, I think we have to be incredibly careful when, you know, thinking of losing industrial space.
Would the floors cope with 1,000 people dancing?
Yeah, I would have thought. I would have thought so.
Is that what they do in church usually?
The evangelicals have faith in the power of prayer. You pray today that the planning committee of Brighton Council would give you permission to have a church at Comet Warehouse. Do you believe that that prayer will be answered?
I do. I believe God will open the way for us.
And if that prayer isn't answered, what does that prove?
It proves that I was wrong. But I do believe that God will do it. And that must be my conviction. I believe God is leading us. He has led us thus far, and I trust he will lead us on.
At its meeting at Brighton Town Hall today, the planning committee unanimously rejected the application, deciding that the building should not be changed from industrial to religious use.
To have granted permission for a change of use for an industrial unit, which, as you saw, you know, could be quickly brought back into industrial use, I think would have been very irresponsible, given the need for industrial floor space in this town and the lack of land available for building modern industrial units.
So, would it be fair to say that you put the commercial needs of the town above its spiritual needs?
The commercial needs, the needs of the unemployed, yes, I suppose on one level it might be fair to say that.
The evangelicals, meanwhile, haven't given up. They plan to appeal.